Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elle and today I'm going to be talking about my January TBR. So I am so excited for 2024. I just feel like it's going to be such a good reading year for me and I'm really excited to read so many new books and read-alongs and new releases, just all of the things I'm ecstatic about. So let's get right into this video. The first book I want to read in January that is on this list is House of Sky and Breath. So I have been participating in the Crescent City read-along, which is hosted by a couple of booktubers. And so I read House of Earth and Blood in December, and so we're going to read this one and the new release, which is House of Flame and Shadow. And I'm just so excited to reread this, and I feel like it's going to make a lot more sense to me for the second time, because the first time I read this book I was a little confused, especially with the prologue. I was like, what's going on? But I feel like it's going to make a lot more sense and I'll enjoy it more in the second reread. But I'm just really excited to reread this and so excited for the new book. So I cannot wait. Then I have The Duke Gets Desperate by Diana Quincy. This is a new release from her and I've not gotten to it yet. It released in 2023, but I'm really excited to read a new book from her. I love the two other books that I've read by her. I think she is such a great author. And this one, I think the hero inherits this like estate, but his stepmother dies and the other half is going to her cousin or something, and so the cousin goes there and it is like, this is my estate, and he's like, no, this is mine. So I think they like fight over who it is like owns it, and it's also hate to love, I think. And I'm just really excited for a new release from her. I love this author, love her books, so I'm really excited for this romance. Then I have Loving Romeo by Laura Pavlov. This is a new release from her. This is a sports romance. I think it deals with MMA fighting, but that's all I really know. I don't know if it's still in the Cottonwood Cove series or if it's a new series, but I'm really excited to read this. I have been loving her romances lately, and I just am excited to read a new release from her, especially a sports romance. I have not read a sports romance yet from her. I don't even know if her other books, I think her other books have like a hockey romance, but I'm really excited for this one. So yeah. Then I also want to get to Salt Kiss by Sierra Simone. I am really excited to read this romance. I've heard it is really, really good. It's forbidden. I think this is going to be a polyamorous relationship, and I think it's also a bodyguard romance. So I think this book is going to be about the two guys. And I just love Sierra Simone and her writing, so I really want to get to this in January, because I also put this on my 12 books to read in 2024 list, and I would love to get to this in January if I can. And I also have Among the Heather on this list by Samantha Young. This is a Highlander romance, but like in a contemporary setting. So the heroine is the manager or like head of this fancy estate slash like, I think like a hotel kind of thing. It's more of like an estate where people can stay. And the hero is an actor and he needs to kind of get away from acting. Like, he had a scandal, and so he is hiding away at this estate in the Scottish Highlands, and the heroine is the owner of the estate, and they have a romance. And I loved the first book, which was oh gosh, Beyond the Thistle, and it is the same narrators, so I really want to listen to the audiobook. The narrator, Shane East, I think, is amazing at doing like a Scottish accent. It is so hot. Like, I'm obsessed with this like audio narrator. He is so good, and I'm just really excited to get to this one from her. Then I have One Night by Lena Hendricks. I actually have no idea what this book is about. I know it's a part of this one series I've been reading from her, but I'm really excited for this one. The cover is gorgeous. It's small town romance, and that's all I need to know. I just really want to get to this release. It looks amazing, and yeah, I'm just excited to read more from this author. And then I also really want to get to finish the Crowns of Nyaxia series. I read the first book last year and really loved it, and I never read the second book. So I really want to get to it in 2024, hopefully in January, because I feel like I'm in a really fantasy dark romance mood. So I would love to get to this one. The series revolves around these games where the heroine was adopted by the vampire king and she's a human. And she had to go up in these like kind of like Hunger Games kind of thing, where if they win they get to be like this like crowned person of the king. But she is the only human and she has to go up against all these vampires. So she teams up with another vampire who his house is known as being really, really bad, and they have a friends to lovers slow burn romance, and it is amazing. And the first book left off on a cliffhanger, so I'm really excited to get to the second book. Then I have The Puck Secret by G.N. Wright. I don't know what this book is about. It is a hockey romance. It says, hockey is my life, my only goal, my only escape, and everything was going according to plan. All I had to do was focus on the game, keep my head down, then get drafted to the NHL. Starting the year as a captain should have made that easy, but now my attention is torn between the ice and my rival's little sister, Madeline Peters. Ooh. So maybe this is like hate to love, hockey romance. This sounds really, really good. So I'm excited to read this. I've seen it floating around on Instagram and people have been really loving this one. And I am in the mood for some hockey romance, so hopefully I'll love this one too. Then I have a couple of different historical romances on this list. I am really in the mood for some cozy historical romances. I'm also going to be making a TBR for 2024 of all the historical romances that I want to get to or I'm interested in, because I've kind of forgotten what books I want to read, like historical romance wise, like what I'm interested in, blah, blah, blah. And I just really want a list that I can refer back to. So I have been loving Stacey Reid's romances lately, and this has been on my TBR for years. This one's super unique. So the heroine has been like pressured to be engaged to somebody and find someone to marry, and so she randomly decides to put, I think in like the newspaper, that she is marrying this long lost duke. And he comes back out of hiding and it's like, you're engaged to me. Like she made this all up. And so I think they have to like go on as they're engaged. And it sounds really, really good. And he is a recluse. And yeah, I'm really excited for this one. And he's very dashing and angry at her. And this sounds so good. And Stacey Reid's romances are really spicy for historical romances, so I'm really excited to read this from her. Then I have The Devil and the Heiress by Harper St. George. This is another one that's been on my TBR for like a year now, and I don't know what it's about. It says, sparks fly when a runaway heiress bargains with a devilish rogue to escape a marriage of convenience. No one would guess that beneath Violet Crenshaw's ladylike demeanor lies the heart of a rebel. American heiress looking to secure English lords must be on their best behavior, but Violet has other plans. She intends to flee London and the marriage her parents have arranged to become a published author. If only the wickedly handsome Earl who inspired her most outrageously sinful character didn't insist on coming with her. Christian Holston, Earl of Lee, has a scheme of his own, escort the surprisingly spirited dollar Princess North, and use every delicious moment in close quarters to convince Violet to marry him. Christian needs an heiress to rebuild his Scottish estate, but the more time he spends with Violet, the more he realizes what he really needs is her, by his side, near his heart, and in his bed. Ooh, this sounds so good. I'm really excited to read this. So I definitely want to read lots of historical romances in January, especially gearing up for Bridgerton season 3. So I'm really excited for this one. And then I have Under the Stars by Laura Pavlov. I really needed to continue on with this series. I have read Into the Tide and After the Storm, which is the 1st and 5th book of this series. But I want to go from the beginning. This is the 2nd book. This is all like small town romance. It says, my new assistant is all smiles and sunshine, and she's about to set fire to my cold, grumpy heart. So I think it's Grumpy Sunshine, and maybe he's like a billionaire. I don't know. But it sounds really good, and I just know I really want to continue with Laura Pavlov's writing and her books, especially her backlist. And I really want to read this whole series, so I'm excited to get to this. Then the last book I have on this list is Sable Peak by Devney Perry. I really want to finish the series. Some of the books in this series have been amazing. Some of them have not been my favorite. The last book was not my favorite. I did not like that book. It felt very forgettable. But this one sounds really good. It says Vera Gallagher is chasing Constant. For 4 years, her life was anything but normal, and the years before that she refuses to even remember. Dwelling on the past only hurts. Life is fragile, a lesson her mother taught her well. She's determined not to waste a moment of her newfound freedom. Maybe some would consider her crush on Mateo Eden wasted time. Maybe some would call her a fool for loving a man who hasn't once dropped a crumb of interest her way. Still, to Vera, it's Mateo or nothing. He's handsome, charming, witty, and he loves his family the way Vera loves with her whole heart. Maybe he'll never notice her. Maybe she's too damaged, too broken to find the normal life she craves. Maybe her secrets will always keep them apart, but Vera will love him anyway, whether Mateo realizes it or not. Oh, okay. So I know this is Mateo's book, and I'm excited to finish the series and check it off my list of like series finished. So yeah, I'm excited to read this and hopefully I'll like it. All right, well that is the end of this video. I'm really excited for January, and I wanted to leave it kind of like optional of like what is on my TBR, because I know that the new Crescent City book is going to take up a chunk of my like time in January, but I'm so excited to read it. But I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.